The sun hangs low over the horizon on this momentous, casting long, jagged shadows across the manicured lawns and gilded estates that define the world of beyond the gates. In this city where appearances are the most valuable currency and secrets are buried deeper than the foundations of the grand mansions, the atmosphere has reached a fever pitch. The air is thick with the scent of winter and the metallic tang of impending conflict. As the lives of the Dupree and Richardson families hurtle toward a series of collisions that threaten to leave no one unscathed, this is not merely another day in their tumultuous lives. It is a crossroads where health crises, deep-seated rivalries, and Machiavellian power plays converge into a storm that has been brewing for months. Every glance exchanged in the hallways of the local hospitals or the high-rise offices of the city's elite carries the weight of history and the sharp edge of future betrayals, setting the stage for an episode that will redefine the loyalties and legacies of everyone involved. The central artery of this tension pulses through the toxic relationship between Donnie Dupree and Haley Hamilton to women whose animosity has become a permanent fixture of the social landscape. As they prepare to cross paths once again, the sheer exhaustion of their ongoing feud is palpable, yet neither seems capable of waving the white flag. Donnie, usually the pillar of resilience within the Dupree clan, is currently navigating a psychological minefield. The recent news of her genetic testing, a terrifying confirmation that she carries the markers significantly increasing her risk for breast cancer, has stripped away her usual armor, leaving her raw and hypersensitive to any perceived slight. One might expect that such a harrowing revelation would warrant a momentary truce, a brief respite from the verbal barbs and calculated coldness that define her interactions with Haley. After all, Haley, despite her sharp tongue and often ruthless ambition, is a human being capable of empathy. However, in the world of beyond the gates, vulnerability is often mistaken for a target, and Donnie's current state of fragility might just be the spark that ignites their most explosive confrontation to date. Their encounter is expected to be more than just a disagreement. It is a clash of spirits, where Donnie's fear for her future meets Haley's unrelenting drive, creating a scene of high-octane drama that underscores the tragedy of two people who could be allies but choose to be enemies. While the younger generation battles in the trenches of social and personal pride, the matriarch of the family, Anita Dupree, is fighting a far more silent and grueling war. The physical toll of chemotherapy is no longer something she can hide behind elegant scarves and a stoic smile. On this Thursday, the weight of the world seems to settle squarely on her thinning shoulders. It is not just the poison coursing through her veins intended to kill the cancer that is draining her. It is the emotional labor of holding her family together while her daughter, Donnie, faces a potential medical nightmare of her own. Anita's breaking point is not a sudden explosion, but a slow, agonizing erosion of her spirit. The stress of the genetic test results, the constant fear of what the next scan will show, and the haunting realization that her legacy might be one of illness rather than triumph have pushed her to the edge of her endurance. The scenes featuring Anita promise to be a master class in quiet desperation, capturing the moment a strong woman realizes that even the fiercest cannot always command a failing body. Her struggle serves as the emotional heartbeat of the episode, a somber reminder that behind the gates, the most difficult battles are often fought in the sterile silence of a hospital room or the lonely confines of a darkened bedroom. Simultaneously, across the city in the sleek, glass-walled sanctum of the Richardson Empire, a different kind of poison is being brewed of manipulation and unfair leverage. Ted Richardson, a man whose moral compass has always been calibrated toward his own advancement, is about to make a move that will send shockwaves through his inner circle. His target is Eva Thomas, a woman who has often found herself caught in the crossfire of the Richardson family's internal wars. Ted's request of Eva is described as inherently unfair, a demand that likely forces her to compromise her integrity or her safety for the sake of Ted's hidden agenda. What makes this request particularly insidious is the collateral damage it is designed to cause. Anything Eva does to satisfy Ted will inevitably place her in a direct and potentially catastrophic conflict with Catherine Cott Richardson. Cott, known for her razor-sharp intellect and her refusal to be a pawn in anyone's game, especially Ted's, not someone Eva can afford to alienate. The mystery surrounding Ted's demand remains the episode's most intriguing puzzle. Is he asking for corporate espionage, the silencing of a scandal, or perhaps something even more personal that strikes at the heart of Cott's authority? The tension in these scenes will likely stem from Eva's internal struggle as she weighs the cost of defiance against the price of complicity, knowing full well that in Ted's world, there are no fair requests, only ultimatums wrapped in the guise of favors. As if the landscape weren't already cluttered with enough landmines, Jessica enters the fray with an offer that threatens to tilt the axis of power even further. Jessica has always been a wild card, a character whose motivations are as veiled as her past, and her sudden appearance with a proposal adds a layer of unpredictable complexity to the unfolding drama. Does her offer provide a lifeline to the drowning Dupree family, or is it a Trojan horse designed to dismantle the Richardsons from within? Her timing is impeccable, arriving at the exact moment when everyone is at their most vulnerable. Lena is physically broken, Donnie is emotionally compromised, and the Richardson hierarchy is fractured by Ted's greed. Jessica's offer could be the catalyst for an unlikely alliance or the final blow that shatters a long-standing partnership. The narrative logic suggests that her proposal will be the bridge that connects the various storylines, drawing the disparate threads of health, power, and rivalry into a single, cohesive knot. The audience is left to wonder if she is a savior or a scavenger, waiting to pick through the ruins of the family's latest disasters. The brilliance of this particular episode of Beyond the Gates lies in its ability to balance the operatic scale of its conflicts with the deeply human vulnerabilities of its characters. The juxtaposition of Donnie's genetic fears against the backdrop of a petty social war with Haley highlights the absurdity and the tragedy of human pride. Meanwhile, the parallel struggles of Anita's physical decline and Eva's ethical dilemma suggest a world where the body and the soul are under constant siege. As the clock ticks toward the conclusion of this Thursday installment, the resolution of these tensions remains tantalizingly out of reach. The unfairness of Ted's request, the offer from Jessica, and the breaking point for Anita all point toward a cliffhanger that will leave viewers questioning the true cost of living life beyond the gates. It is a world where every victory is Pyrrhic and every secret has a price tag. By the time the credits roll, the lines between hero and villain will be further blurred, leaving only the stark reality of survival in a society that demands everything and forgives nothing. The intricate web of relationships, already strained to the snapping point, is about to be tested by fire, and not everyone will emerge from the flames intact. The stage is set, the players are in position, and for the residents of this gilded cage, January 15th will be a day long remembered for the gates that were opened and the ones that were slammed shut forever. Would you like me to expand further on a specific character's backstory to add even more depth to this narrative, or perhaps describe the setting of a particular scene in more vivid detail? The tapestry of life within the exclusive enclaves of Beyond the Gates continues to unravel and reweave itself in increasingly complex patterns as the events of Thursday, January 15th unfold. While the air in the upper-class neighborhoods remains crisp and biting, the emotional temperature is reaching a boiling point, fueled by long-standing rivalries, burgeoning romances, and the heavy weight of future expectations. This particular day serves as a microcosm of the series' overarching themes: the struggle between individual desire and family legacy, the fragility of health in the face of immense wealth, and the eternal dance of secrets and revelations that keeps the social hierarchy in a state of constant, trembling equilibrium. As the sun climbs higher, illuminating the marble foyers and glass-walled penthouses, the characters find themselves caught in the gravitational pull of decisions that will echo far beyond the confines of their immediate circles, pushing them toward a future that is as uncertain as it is inevitable. At the heart of the day's youthful intrigue is the relationship between Jessica and Tyrell Richardson, a pairing that has always carried the heavy burden of the Richardson family name and the expectations that come with it. Jessica, a young woman whose intelligence is matched only by her fierce sense of purpose, is set to present Tyrell with a proposal that could shift the very foundation of their partnership. The speculation swirling through the hallways of their elite social circle is rampant. Is this the long-awaited moment where she asks him to the high-stakes glamour of the upcoming prom? Or is she looking toward a much more permanent horizon? Jessica has never been one for superficial gestures, and those who know her best suspect that her offer is rooted in something far more profound than a mere dance. There is a palpable sense that she is ready to take their relationship to a new level, a phrase that, in the world of Beyond the Gates, can range from a declaration of exclusivity to a pact of mutual ambition that transcends the petty dramas of their peers. Her proposal is likely a strategic move designed to anchor Tyrell to a future that she has meticulously envisioned for both of them. One where they are no longer just children of privilege, but architects of their own shared destiny. However, the most compelling layer of Jessica's plan involves her unwavering desire for Tyrell to secure a spot at UCLA. For Jessica, the prestigious university represents more than just an education. It is a gateway to a world outside the suffocating influence of the Richardson estate, a place where they can reinvent themselves away from the prying eyes of their families. The possibility that her proposal is actually an invitation for a campus tour carries significant weight. Imagine the scene: Jessica, armed with brochures and a vision of their future, asking Tyrell to step away from his obligations for a weekend to walk the sun-drenched paths of Los Angeles. Such a trip would be more than a simple college visit. It would be a test of Tyrell's loyalty to his family's traditional path versus the life Jessica is offering him. Will Tyrell see this as an opportunity for freedom, or will the unfair requests and manipulative pressures of his father, Ted, pull him back into the shadows of the Richardson empire? The tension between Jessica's hopeful ambition and the gravity of Tyrell's heritage creates a poignant narrative arc, leaving the audience to wonder if love is enough to bridge the gap between who they are and who they want to become. Meanwhile, the narrative shifts its focus to a more intimate but equally high-stakes setting as Ashley Morgan, the town's most compassionate and dedicated nurse, prepares for a highly anticipated debrief with her closest confidants, Naomi Hawthorne and Shanice Johnson. The air in their meeting spot, perhaps a quiet corner of a chic cafe or the sanctuary of a private living room, is thick with the kind of electric curiosity that only best friends can generate. The topic of the hour is Ashley's recent date with the enigmatic Grayson Perez, a man whose presence in Ashley's life has sparked a flurry of questions and a fair share of romantic hope. Ashley has always been the one to care for others, her life defined by the sterile walls of the clinic and the selfless act of healing. So the sight of her pursuing her own happiness is a rare and welcome development. Naomi and Shanice, acting as the audience's proxies, are desperate for every sizzling detail, their eyes wide with the anticipation of a story that might finally provide a reprieve from the heavy drama surrounding the Dupree and Richardson families. The question remains, will the kind nurse actually spill the beans? Ashley's professional life requires a level of discretion and stoicism that often spills over into her personal affairs, making her a difficult person to read. Her internal conflict is visible in the way she hesitates before answering, a soft smile playing on her lips as she weighs the joy of sharing her romantic sparks against her innate desire for privacy. Grayson Perez is not just any man. He represents a potential shift in Ashley's identity, moving her from the role of the perpetual caregiver to that of a woman being cared for. The hot details Naomi and Shanice are hunting for are more than just gossip. They are the breadcrumbs of a transformative journey for Ashley. Whether she describes a perfect moonlit dinner or a moment of unexpected vulnerability, her revelation will serve as a reminder that even in a world obsessed with power and genetic markers, The simple human connection of a first date remains one of the most powerful forces at play. As these stories interweave, the episode crafts a brilliant contrast between the monumental and the mundane. On one side of the city, Anita Dupree is physically collapsing under the weight of chemotherapy, and Donnie is grappling with a genetic destiny that feels like a ticking time bomb. On the other, Jessica and Tyrell are negotiating the terms of their youth, and Ashley is navigating the fluttering nerves of a new romance. This juxtaposition is the essence of Beyond the Gates, the way a life-altering medical diagnosis can exist in the same space as a whispered secret about a date or a strategic plan for college. The show suggests that life doesn't stop for tragedy. Rather, the trivial and the profound occur simultaneously, each heightening the impact of the other. The unfairness of Ted's demands on Eva Thomas feels even more egregious when contrasted with the genuine, albeit complicated, affection Jessica feels for Tyrell. Every character is fighting a battle, whether it's for their health, their integrity, their future, or simply for the right to a private life. As the shadows lengthen on this fateful Thursday, the convergence of these plotlines promises a climax that is both inevitable and shocking. The updates Ashley provides to Naomi and Shanice may seem lighthearted, but in a community where information is power, even the details of a date can be used as leverage or lead to unforeseen complications. Similarly, Jessica's offer to Tyrell, if accepted, could set him on a collision course with his father's expectations, further fracturing the already unstable Richardson family. The episode is a masterclass in slow-burn tension, building a world where every conversation is a chess move and every emotion is a potential liability. The gates that define this community are not just made of iron and stone. They are built from the expectations of parents, the burdens of DNA, and the secrets we keep from those we love most. By the time the final scene fades to black, the residents of Beyond the Gates will find themselves one step closer to a reckoning that has been years in the making, leaving the viewers to count the days until they can once again peer through the bars of this gilded cage to see who has survived the night and who has been lost to the shadows. The brilliance of the January 15th episode lies in its refusal to offer easy resolutions, instead opting for the messy, uncomfortable reality of human relationships under pressure. It forces the audience to confront the idea that fairness is a luxury few can afford, and that the next level of any relationship often comes with a price tag that is far higher than anyone anticipated. As Donnie and Haley's conflict reaches its peak, as Anita's strength wanes, and as Jessica lays her cards on the table for Tyrell, the show reaffirms its status as a compelling exploration of the human condition. It is a world where the stakes are always high, the glamour is always a mask, and the truth is the most dangerous weapon of all. Would you like me to focus on the specific dialogue between Ashley and her friends to highlight the sizzling nature of her date? Or perhaps explore the dark history between Ted and Eva to explain why his request is so controversial?